Hey, what's up, you guys?
Hi everyone. So we're just going to run through some quick care points on the Senecio. This is a string of pearls. A few things about the Senecio. They have succulent type foliage. They're considered a succulent. So basically these are arid liking climates. They prefer hot weather and they prefer to stay pretty dry as well. I think I just lost a pearl. Um, so I have mine in a terracotta pot, which is pretty important for making sure a lot of moisture is wicked out of the pot and making sure that not a lot of water stays put in this pot. The terracotta is going to wick out a lot of the moisture, which is very important for succulent type foliage because they have so much water storage in the pearls or the leaves. They have a decent amount of water storage. You don't need to worry about watering them often. Well, let's go over some light requirements for these guys. Usually all Senecios are going to prefer bright and direct to bright, moderately direct sunlight. They have, pretty sturdy foliage, so they can take a decent amount of direct light and they would actually benefit from that. However, I would be careful with some different Senecios, not giving them too much direct light. You don't want to burn the foliage or anything like that, specifically if they're wet. Like the foliage is wet. So if we just get a little closer here, we can see this, succulent type foliage. Super cute, super pretty. And this guy actually flowers if it has the right conditions. This guy actually started out just like a little cutting, actually. It probably just barely fit in the top of this pot. And then over the past year, it's totally, it's grown pretty long. This will just continue to grow. I would only water this whenever the soil is entirely dry. I definitely wouldn't let it sit in moisture or anything like that. You want to be able to stick your finger down in there or like a moisture probe and see how dry that soil is. Another pro with terracotta is that you can actually feel the outside of the pot or be able to look at it, and I can actually feel that it's kind of damp. So to me that means there's still some moisture left in here and I could let this dry out a little bit more. You don't want to overwater these plants or really any plant or else it's going to lead to rot in the roots and it will deprive the roots of oxygen, which will kill your plant. So yeah, another thing, an indicator for whenever these guys are ready to be watered again. Normally if we take a look at these pearls again, you should be able to see they're almost have like a satin eggshell finish to them. They have like a little bit of a sheen almost. Once that sheen goes away, the pearls will start to kind of shrivel up a little bit, and that's your indicator that you need to water again. So normally plants will give you signs that they need to be watered, and this guy is no different. It just so happens that the sign with succulent type foliage is that typically the pearls or the bananas or whatever succulent you have is going to start to kind of, I guess we could say atrophy almost. It's going to start to kind of shrivel a little bit because it doesn't have any moisture storage left in its leaf, and it's going to drop that part of the plant to survive if you don't water it anytime soon. So keep an eye on this guy. I water him, maybe once a week, if that. But again, it totally depends on what type of pot you have, what kind of soil you have. Another note, these guys don't like to sit in water, like I said, so it's very crucial that you get these guys a very sandy mixture for their soil, something that drains really well, something that's kind of rocky or sandy, very high in perlite or vermiculite would be really good, just to make sure all the water drains through this properly. The blooms on these guys are really cute. They smell like cinnamon, really awesome. I would suspect that this guy's not getting quite enough light to bloom, but hopefully later in the spring, summertime, he'll actually bloom. So we'll see. I've never had any pests on this guy. I have seen a mealybug on this guy before, but that was because I had a croton beside it that was infested, and I, took that away and dealt with that then. And I only saw like one mealybug on here, and I haven't seen any since. So these guys are pretty resilient, just like all the Senecios are. Great plant, pretty easy to find nowadays too. If you have a local greenhouse or nursery, you should be able to find these guys no problem. So yeah, string of pearls.